Hello and welcome once again to the Great Pernix Thief. In light of the new elf quest Plague's End, I've decided to do a Pyramid Plunder video, as all the pieces of this armor benefits Pyramid Plunder. If you have any black ibis armor, this armor is essentially a duplicate of it, if you have the pieces. If not, they won't. Now to get here, you need to start Ichilarian's Little Helper and know how to get to Sophemeim. So I'm going to show you on the bank, the map, where to go. Now, if you haven't started the quest yet, you need to do Gertrude's Cat. You need a cat for this quest. Priest in Peril also is helpful. I believe it's still required. Now, you're going to home teleport to Al-Kharid, get the Shanty Pass. You won't be able to come here initially. You're going to actually want to stop somewhere else. So take the magic carpet all the way to Pernix, or over here if you have this unlocked. And if you come to Pernix, you can just take a carpet straight to Narada. If you haven't done Ichilarian's Little Helper, that's where you're going to want to go. If you flew over to Uzer, you're going to want to run down here. If you've done Spirits of the Iliad, this is also a better place to stop, because it's going to allow you to stock up on water skins. You're going to need one or two to start the quest. Now, if you've done the quest but never have done Pyramid Plunder, you can just take the carpet straight to the city. If you have done the quest Contact, then you can bank in the city. This is the bank of the city. If not, you're going to have to either drop anything you don't want to keep, or run all the way back to Narada every time, which is going to severely cut back on your XP per hour. If you haven't started the quest, this is where you start the quest. There's going to be a person named a Wanderer. You get her like a tinderbox, torch, and a few other things. And then she takes you into the city. You'll get a burial urn with you. Just destroy that for now. You won't need to save it forever. And you'll be pretty much good to go for the time being. Really, that's all there is to it. Now, once you're in Sophemeim, this pyramid right here is the one you want. Let me turn on all the facilities so you can see where everything is in here. Now, this pyramid to the bottom, that pyramid is the quest pyramid. We're not going to go in there. You can feature Ichilarian's Little Helper all the way through. You can buy anti-poison in town. That is something you're going to need if you're a lower level. If not, and you're a higher level, you can just bring an anti-poison totem or the prayer book from the Great Brain Robbery. If you're middle, it's not essential. Once you get to about level 90, the poison really won't do a whole lot. It'll just be a nuisance. Anyways, you can recharge your prayer in the city. Now, each of these there's a door on each side. I'm inside the pyramid right now, so I can't show you. But on my second run, I'll show you. There's a mummy in one of them in this chamber. You need to get to that to get to him. Once in this chamber, you can see from the right quick here, you can either recharge your scepter, recommend you buy one of these, or loot one of these if you get one. They'll allow you to teleport right here, 3 charges per scepter. You can recharge it with loot from the minigame and just keep the fun going. So, let's start the minigame. Now, as you'll notice, I've also have on a Sign of Life. This helps with your chances of getting the scepter. I do a somewhat unpopular strategy in Pyramid Plunder. I loot every central chest on the way to my max room, which I can go to room 7, if you're not aware. Each room takes 10 levels over. Your time is displayed up here and how much time you have left. When opening these chests, you can accidentally unleash scarabs, which I might get on accident here. If I do, then I'll gladly show you them. If not, I'm not complaining. They're just a pain. Sarcophagi contain mummies. 90% of the time, you're going to disturb a mummy, and the general rule of etiquette at this place is if you unleash a mummy, you have to kill it. Do not unleash a mummy if you cannot kill it. Everyone will be very annoyed with you, including myself, so if I run into you, keep that in mind. You're going to get an earful. Now, occasionally you will fail the spear traps. Don't bring lockpicks. I know everyone says bring lockpicks. It makes opening the doors easier. Don't. You get more experience out of the doors if you don't pick the lock with a lockpick. And the same goes for Snake Charmer. If you're a lower level and you know you won't be able to survive the snake's repeated bites without one, bring a Snake Charm. You're going to lose a good amount of experience, though. Just keep that in mind. But you'll be alive. Now, it's pretty simple, this minigame. You have 5 minutes to loot whatever you want from the... or can, rather. It's more of a can in most cases. You just need a little bit of food, a weapon of your choice. I personally prefer to bring melee here, but that's just because most things melee, and I really don't feel like switching to EOC combat. You can bring a Beast of Burden. I don't see why you would unless you're, again, unable to use the contact bank in Sophemeim and have to run all the way back to Narada every time you want to get a fresh inventory without dropping things. I recommend you bring a Bunyip familiar if you really want to bring a familiar. It'll heal you. If you can summon Unicorn Stallions, that actually takes the place of your anti-poison item if you're, again, too low level to tank it out, so to speak. Ah, here we go. Level 112, they hit like nail beasts. They're really not that hard to kill. I mean, I just killed it in one shot. But if you're low level, they can be pretty fearsome. They can poison you, and they will. Trust me, this is one of the few times I've ever gone without being poisoned by them. Now, looting urns is a little more difficult than just looting the grand chest. If you keep getting bit, try right-clicking on it and hitting check for snakes instead of search. As long as you don't charm the snake, you'll still get the same amount of XP. It just makes it a little easier. Barely. It's barely noticeable. I only do it because I'm paranoid. Now, I'm in the max room. The rule of the max room of Pyramid Plunder is you loot everything you can. I don't care what people say, you loot everything. This is the room that pays off the most XP. And then the general pecking order is Grand Chest first. I didn't do it this time, for no real reason. I just looted the urns that came in first. But the general rule is Grand Chest first. That usually gives you your best loot in Pyramid Plunder. My Ring of Wealth just shone a little brighter, so that means I guess I was more likely to get a piece of Black Ibis. It's pretty rare you get Black Ibis here, but it's the best set in the game of thieves. It's like the lumberjack of thieving. Now, I recommend you don't over-prepare. This time I over-prepared. Normally I have at least enough for the last room and all grand chests. But this time I didn't. It's just the monkfish. They cost virtually nothing. There we go. And I disturbed a mummy. Again, remember the rule for the mummy. I don't care if you're almost out of time. It's going to cost you. If you disturb a mummy, you need to take out the mummy. Now, when you're done, if you have excess time, you can either quick leave through the tomb door, like so, or you can just sit around the tomb for a few minutes, maybe chat with someone if there's more people in the crypt. Once completed, you have a few options. You can either run to Narada if you don't have the contact bank open. You can either head to that hole in the wall over there or the front gate, depends on if you've done Itchularin yet. If you've done contact, you can go right down the convenient ladder here and hit the bank. Just make sure you don't go down the second set of ladder rungs. It's going to end up killing you due to the Scarabites. If you have the combat gear, you can go, though. Now, you need 10 stone artifacts, 6 golden artifacts, or you need 1 jeweled golden artifact, or 20 pottery, to recharge a Pharaoh's Scepter. So I currently have 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 2 more. I'm going to recharge my Pharaoh's Scepter once I find the way in, just because normally I don't go this long without recharging it. Okay, now normally my method is I take both staves and I just keep teleporting back and recharge them one at a time. They won't stack in your bank all the time unless you intentionally use charges, but it's the fastest way to get back into the pyramid. Later on, you can set up the gods. It holds 10 charges, but takes a hell of a lot of stats to get to. It takes like 91 rune crafting, 91 thieving. It's just more pain than most people are willing to deal with. Even I can't access it yet. Now, as you can see, I'm not finding the mummy. Sometimes when you open the door, a fist will punch you, rather hilariously, I must add. And that really is nothing to be worried about. It's just the game basically saying, I don't want you in here just yet. Won't do anything, it'll take like 2 health from you at most. Nothing to be too frightened about. Okay, here's that other pyramid I was talking about, by the way. That's the West Pyramid. Anti-poison guy is right around back in the church. If you're buying your anti-poison here, or if you're not using it like me, then whatever. Let's go with stone first. Now, normally I would have teleported in here. I'm going to waste a charge to show you the... Oh, that's right. Keep forgetting. I'm going to waste a charge of this scepter. It can be used as a staff if you want to bring magic, but you don't want to lug this thing around in your inventory, so to speak. Just keep that in mind. There we go. See? Not that hard to take now. Looks kind of like the ancient teleport combined with Daemonheim. Also note, you don't start getting golden jeweled artifacts until the final room. So if you're banking on just using those to one-stop recharge your stuff, A, don't. You can sell them at the Pyramid Plunder and GE for a very good price. And B, well, B really isn't that sensible. It's just, why would you use such a valuable artifact to recharge a simple scepter? I don't understand why you do that, but that's just me. I'm one of those people that hoards items. Okay, so this is just run 2, now that I've walked in legitimately. Legitimately? Really? Can't speak today. So this, yeah, you've seen it before. If you want to keep watching to the end of the video, I'm just going to describe some things that are at Pyramid Plunder. And when you're in Pyramid Plunder, please note that there really isn't a lot to do besides loot the tomb. You're really only looking for Pharaoh scepters or the urns and sarcophagi and black ibis robes. The rest of the stuff, yeah, it makes back whatever you're spending to train here, and this is the fastest experience route in the game for thieving, but it's entirely up to you how you want to train your thieving and if you want to train it here. I love this place because it's, well, you're seeing the experience I'm getting in the final room. Now, as for other methods, since I forgot to mention this earlier, the other methods is the half loot method, where you ignore everything till the second half of the pyramid and then start looting. I don't personally use that method. I prefer to loot the grand chest in every room. It gets me some gold artifacts. I can use those for whatever inane purpose I see fit, whether that be reselling them to other players or using them for malicious purposes or alchemizing them because I have too many. Just up to you. The second method is the fastest one if you can't access the bank and it's in Sophemeim. Most people prefer they drop all their stone artifacts and keep only gold ones. They can get about 3 or 4 good runs in before they have to bank, usually. 5 in some cases, depending on your level. That's actually the fastest method of experience per hour, but it's not the most profitable. This is one of the more profitable methods. The most profitable is to have 91 thieving and just keep going for the ruined sarcophagi and grand chest in the final room. That requires 91 thieving though, so it's not feasible to everyone watching this guide. Keep in mind that sometimes your guy will do a weird tracking error, where he keeps going to the other side, like walking into the middle, trying to disarm the trap. This is somewhat normal. Don't worry, the only thing you have to do to correct it is walk 2 steps to the left. Or 1, depending on where you're standing. Okay, I'm breaking my rule again of looting the main chest first. And again, you're welcome to train this in any way possible. I know some people what they love to do is they'll just loot half the urns in the previous room and drop that stuff where it is, or put it with their Beast of Burden familiar. Again, don't understand why you'd bring one here. Go to the final room, loot everything. Some people do that to get a little more experience. It takes more time though, so don't anticipate on it working every time. Okay, I hate how they mess with that. That's me nitpicking. Now, if you don't have the exoskeleton armor, you can get it from Plague's End. It's a reward upon completing the quest. It provides bonus experience in Hunter and Thieving, as well as prevents you from being bit. So you'll be bit 25% less often by snakes in every room. Now, since these rooms are contingent upon your thieving level to begin with, that it can either be you're going to not get bit at all, or you're going to still get bit a good amount, but you're not going to be bit constantly as if you weren't wearing the armor. Black Ibis armor also gives bonus experience outside of Pyramid Plunder. It's the superior of the two sets, but if you don't have Black Ibis, which it takes close to 5 million Pyramid Plunder experience and thieving to get, then don't worry about it. This works fine. If you don't have either, your Ardogene cloak will help. Not a whole lot, but it will help a little bit, since technically looting the urns falls under thieving, like pickpocketing. But moving on. This is a pretty simple minigame. It won't take long to get into a routine, and you may use any method you like. I prefer to do the loot grand chest in every room, then move on. That's just me. My best friend, Azandra, he just loves to loot only the last two rooms. It's up to you. This has been the Great Pernix Thief. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next week.